Welcome back, everybody, to Shyhammer Fantasy, and today is a game that I played on Easter with my brother, my nephew, and my father. And basically, my nephew and my father just basically got into the hobby just recently, and they came out for the Dice Dojo tournament we had the day before, and they were learning a lot. And now they're on Easter. They were playing a game, and my brother and I brought our armies too. We're just like, hey, let's have a big brawl where we teamed up and we put our armies together and try to use the best of both abilities on both out of the armies. Out of all four of our armies, really. So I'm going to go over really quick what we have here. Basically, the Skaven and the High Elves are working together. God knows why they're working together, but maybe the High Elves kind of just promised Skaven some extra sewage or something like that. I don't understand. Or maybe they had a warp stone. Who knows? But over here for the Skaven, we have a Hell Pit Abomination. We have a unit of slaves. And then in the front, we have a guy with the Doom Rocket. We also have right next to him the Rattling Gun. Right behind where they would be is a unit of, I believe, 40 Storm Vermin with Queek and the Storm Banner. The guy on the right, the giant rat on the right, is actually going to act as a White Lion Chariot today. We have one Warp Lightning Cannon, the Storm Fiends. Then we have a High Elf Prince on a Griffin. And then I don't think I have a picture of the rest of his army until later on. Over here we have the Orcs and Goblins and Ogres. And you can see they're Ice Ogres. And got 20 Night Goblins with Bows and Fanatics. We got a Doom Diver. We have a unit of 6 Bulls. We have the Ragnarok Spider. We have the Mangler Squig, a unit of 20 Savages with extra hand weapons, and then the level 4 Orc Shaman, Savage Orc Shaman. Behind them, we have the Hunter. The Hunter's sitting in the back with the Vulture just because he kind of knows the Storm Fiends are going to pop up in the back, so we're hoping the Hunter distracts him for a turn. That unit of Ogres right there has the Ogre General Tyrant in the front, and then he also has 6 Ogres and a banner, a flaming banner, because we're prepared for that Hell Pit. Over here we have 3 more, the 3 more Ogre Bulls on the left. We have a Goblin Hero on a Wolf with a Great Weapon. We have 2 Saber Tusks. Those 6 guys on the right are actually going to act as, or 5 guys on the right, I'm sorry, are going to act as lead belchers. And then we have a giant, and then on the right over there, my spear chucker is actually going to be a Iron Blaster from the Ogre Kingdom. For my spells, I got Foot of Gork, Hand of Gork, Brain Busta, and I want to say that's Here We Go. And then we're going to go ahead and start the Vanguard. So over here we have the Elysian Reavers. They're just going to go ahead and move up on the Vanguard. We have the 2 Saber Tusks move up, and then we also have the Goblin Wolf Hero move up solo. And then it's Skaven and High Elves get turn 1. The Hell Pit Abomination just marches forward. I hate this guy. He's such a pain in the ass. If you ever fought one of these things, they're just assholes. I don't have any other way to say it, but they're just assholes. Anyways, we came prepared for him, but over here, the Storm Fiends, they did pop up right behind our unit. There was a little token there that was showing exactly where he was tunneling, and they popped out right on the first turn. And then here's a picture of some of the other units that I didn't go over. He has 5 Rat Ogres, and then a unit of 30 Spearmen. And then his magic phase, he got 6 Power Dice. And then he goes ahead and does Aspect of the Dread Knight. And basically how it works is my dad didn't know how to use Ogre's magic so well, so I took over the magic with the Savage Orc Shaman. And then my brother's Skaven, he doesn't really put too much faith into his magic, so he uses Queek. He kind of uses a lot of muscle power. So the High Elves took over the magic phase on him. He does Aspect of the Dread Knight, and it's an augment spell, and basically he puts it onto this unit of Reavers. Every other magic spell he tried to do, I shut it down with my magic, and then we're gonna go to shooting phase. Shooting phase, he has the Warp Lightning Cannon, and it shoots, and it falls right short here. He was aiming for the tip of the Savage Orcs, just to hopefully go bounce through and hit maybe the Mangler and the Savage Orcs, and it just fell short. It was a really good lucky roll for us. Um, Over here, he's gonna go ahead and use his rattling gun on the hunter, and he just blasts a new hole through that hunter. It got like, I don't know, like a good like 15 shots or something like that. It was crazy. That's way overpowered, but and then he has his rattling gun over here charging up to shoot, and I don't believe he can shoot though, but he might have, just because that's the way he does that. The Reavers over here, they're gonna go ahead and shoot at the Sabertusk, and they put one wound onto the Sabertusk, so it's not bad by them. He goes ahead and shoots the Doom Rocket next, and it actually falls short. And it blows up, and I believe it only hit like one guy on the Ogres, but I don't have a picture of it. So we're going to go ahead and start Orcs and Goblins and Ogres turn 1 right now. So first thing we do is charge in with the Sabertusk into the Rattling Gun, and then this guy charges into the Elysian Reavers. The Elysian Reavers chose to stand and shoot, and sure enough, they actually killed off the Sabertusk. Mangler moves up, the Goblin Wolf Rider moves up, and then just basically everybody moved up. What's not pictured here is actually Gorbat is all the way on the left flank. I brought him along. There he is. He's hiding behind the... Him and the Spider are actually hiding behind the pillar, worried about that Warp Lightning Cannon. But actually the Warp Lightning Cannon can shoot the Spider anyways, but we're just trying to stay out of sight, out of mind. For Magic Phase, got 3 Power Dice, and which is really shitty. And I'm going to use it onto the Hand of Gork, because that's pretty much the only spell that we could possibly get off with that low of a cast. So I throw this unit of Night Goblins with bows over here. Literally, I think like 7 inches away. If I could have got him closer, I would have, obviously. But sure enough, only one Fanatic gets through, and that Fanatic does 3 wounds onto one of the Storm Fiends, which kind of sucks. So we're going to go into shooting phase, and I'm going to go ahead and have all these 20 Night Goblins who just got teleported. They're going to shoot, and they're going to kill one guy. So, hey, that's one less Storm Fiend to worry about. Oh, and they also do one more wound over here. So we're going to go ahead and use the Iron Blaster. Iron Blaster turns over here and fires, and it actually took out 4 more wounds. So surprisingly, they're still standing. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Doom Divers into them. And the first Doom Diver actually goes ahead and takes out... he gets a direct hit. And then after the direct hit, he actually killed both of them. That's how you take out some Storm Fiends. Throw goblins at them and throw a cannonball at them. Man, but it was a waste of a turn. It was all a waste of all that firepower. We also turned those lead belchers around so they could, or not lead belchers, the iron bulls to face them, but didn't really matter. Over here I had the Ragnarok spiders shoot at the giant rats that are closest, and they took out 3 of them. The Howder crew shooting at them. And then we're going to go to close combat. Close combat, this lion actually, or Sabertusk, I don't know why I said lion, but Sabertusk actually charged but failed to wound, or he might have got 1 wound off, and caused a panic. The Rattling Gun actually flees and goes behind that unit, and then Sabertusk is force charged into a new unit of or slaves. I don't know why I'm saying things backwards. Alright, so we're going to go into High Elves and Skaven, turn 2. So first thing he does is goes ahead and turns on the Storm Banner, and this giant green ball of fire that my brother has created. It shuts down all the shooting. Basically, any ballistic skills -2 now to hit, and then anything that isn't ballistic skill has to roll a 4, 5, or 6 to actually work. His chariot is going to go ahead and charge my Lone Wolf, and my guy is actually going to flee and basically feign flight. Over here, his Hellpit Abomination moves up just a little bit, and then actually, this isn't a prince on a griffin. What we actually did was, it was a proxy for a phoenix. So his phoenix flew over the giant, but it didn't wound the giant, and those guys are actually facing backwards. So sorry about saying the wrong character. For Magic Phase, he got 10 power dice, and he's going to go ahead and do the Purple Sun. Oh god. So he throws the Purple Sun right there. It was I couldn't stop it. I tried to stop it. I think he actually got an Irresistible Force onto it. So it pops out and it goes ahead and moves through my savages and onto that ogre, and it goes ahead and kills off 7 savages in the first move, and it also kills off that ogre. And now it's sitting there and it's just kind of rotating every magic phase unless we dispelled it. But to be honest, spoiler alert, I just left it alone. It was pretty fun to watch it just kind of go around. Next thing he does walk between worlds, and he does it onto the unit of. Actually, I want to say he did it on the unit of rat ogres. I don't know if it was this turn that it went off or the following turn. But anyways, so we're gonna go into shooting phase. Shooting phase, he goes ahead and he shoots the warp lightning cannon at this unit of savages again. First one's a 10, and then the second one, I believe, actually got a couple more. He killed off one guy though with it. No, two guys. I'm sorry, with it on the bounce and the explosion. So remaining shooting phase here, we're gonna have the Elysian Reavers. They shoot at the guy who's right in front of them, and he actually has the armor of destiny, and he also has, I mean, it's heavy armor, cavalry, and shield. He has like a 3-up armor save, and then he also has a 4-up ward save, which is ridiculously good. Over here, actually, he did not shoot the Doom Rocket last turn. He's gonna shoot it this turn, and he shoots it, and he hits this whole unit of ogres. I'm sorry for saying that wrong there earlier. It actually kills off 2 ogres and puts a wound on another one, which is oh, and he also does 2 wounds onto my Mangler. So he had a really good shot onto the Doom Rocket. I remember what happened. Basically, the first time he went to go shoot the Doom Rocket, he was talked out of doing it because it was way too many dice. So I still took a picture of the Doom Rocket, but it didn't go off. Over here, well, and actually that's another thing that he messed up on. He shouldn't have been able to shoot out of combat anyways, but he did. Over here, the slaves killed the Saber-Tusk off, and I don't think the Saber-Tusk actually, I think he might have killed like 1 or 2 guys. And then we're going to go into Orcs and Ogres turn 2 now. So I was hoping the Mangler would actually run right through that hell pit, and it fell 1 inch short, and I just basically put it like right there. As for these guys over here, they just killed each other. They didn't even like try, and this has been like my thing with the Fanatics, is after that first move they just kind of get doubles or they go into something that kills themselves. So this kind of gives you a view of what's going on here. The Giant moved up. Basically the Ogres moved up, the Savage Orcs moved up, Gorbat moved up, the Ragnarok moved over to the left, and then allowing the Ogres back there to move up, and then the Lead Belchers moved up. Magic phase, I don't have the picture of the power dice for some reason, but I went ahead and I threw 5 dice on the foot of Gork, and as you can see, it failed miserably. What the hell? And then we still have the Storm Banner up, so all my shooting's basically going to be handicapped here. So the Lead Belchers are going to go ahead and shoot, and they take out that whole unit of Elysian Reavers, actually, which was pretty impressive. My Goblin Wolf Rider over here rallied, and we had nothing else to do. I mean, we really got shut down on the magic phase, and we got shut down on the shooting, and nobody was in close combat. So we're going to go ahead straight into the High Skaven turn 3. So first thing we're going to do is the Skaven and the High Elves, they charge their white rat chariot into my Goblin Hero, and he's going to go ahead and sit there and take it. He charges his rat ogres with Throt the Unclean into my Ragnarok, and I'm going to go ahead, and I can't even move about it because I'm immune to psychology. And then his Hell Pit squeezes by my Mangler by 1 inch and goes towards the bulls. His Phoenix flies over my savages and burns them. I don't know, I don't have the damage there, but basically everybody else moves up. His greatswords move up, his spears move up, his slaves move up, and he gets 11 power dice. Come on, I mean, my magic phases, I'm getting like 3s and 5s. He gets 11. He does a magic missile onto the unit of ogres here. He puts 1 more wound on them. And then he also throws in the Walk Between Worlds onto these rat ogres, so now they are ethereal, and I can't do anything about it. Shooting phase, he's going to go ahead and shoot the Warp Lightning Cannon right back at to the ogres again. And first bounce gets an 8. The second bounce, he gets a 4. And then he goes ahead and kills off 1 more ogre. This sucks. We're dying before we even get into combat. And then here it is, the flame damage killed off 2 savages. The chariot with the impact hits alone actually got 6 impact hits, killed off my hero. And then I can't even touch the rat ogres, and they actually did 4 wounds onto my spider. And I thought, to be honest, that the spider was supposed to flee. He was super excited that the spider fleed. Then I realized, I looked at the rules, the spider is stubborn, and Gorbad's in range, so he has a 10 leadership with a BSB reroll. So we lucked out for 1 turn. Hopefully the spider could pull it out. We're going to go into Orcs and Goblins and Ogres turn 3 now. Giant charges into that White Lion Chariot to get revenge for his fallen comrade. And then over here, we charged in with the Ogres and we charged in with the Savage Orcs into the Hell Pit Abomination, hopefully to take care of this giant threat. Over here, the Mangler moved up and actually killed off 6 slaves, which isn't really much, but whatever. It's doing some work. And as you can see, the Night Goblins kind of wheeled over to shoot, or get better position to shoot, and then the Purple Sun is just kind of moving around. 7 power dice. I'm going to go ahead and throw all of them onto the foot. I get an Irresistible Force miscast, and it blows up and kills off 4 of my guys with the miscast, which this is just ridiculous. My savages are dying before. I mean, look, nobody's touched the Stormvermin, nobody's touched the Greatswords, nobody's touched the Spearmen. That's just crazy. And then I try to do it, I believe, onto the slaves maybe, and I didn't even get it off. It failed. It just kind of like drifted off and did nothing, which is bullshit. So we rolled a 6 onto the Storm Banner, turned the Storm Banner off. Let's get some shooting done. Got the Iron Blaster here, shooting at the Warp Lightning Cannon. I have no idea why these pictures look like they're from like the 1980s or something like that, but they are. And it falls short and misses. I'm going to go ahead and do the Doom Diver into the unit of Greatswords, and it drifts way off and hits the back end of the Storm Vermin, so I'm just going to go ahead and kill some Storm Vermin. And again, I don't know why these pictures are so blurry, but it'll be fixed very soon, I swear. And then we're going to go to Close Combat. Close Combat, his Hell Pit Abomination kills off 3 of my savages and even puts a wound onto my Savage Orc Shaman, and also puts a wound onto one of the Rat Ogres. He gets Avalanche of Flesh, I believe it was, or Flailing Fist, but one of the ones that it hits everybody that's in base contact. That's why the Ogre took a wound. The Ogres attack back, and he doesn't know it has a Flaming Banner, and they put a couple wounds onto, they put 5 wounds onto the Hell Pit. The Hell Pit ends up killing off all my savages with Thunder Stomp, and this is how it ended up. We got 5 wounds onto him, which he doesn't realize he's about to die. He thinks he's about to just regen and whatever. So over here is the aftermath of the Ragnarok killing a couple Rat Ogres. They fleed, and he chased them down and ate them up. And Gorbad actually killed off a unit of Giant Rats and overran, and he ended up behind the Ragnarok, which you see here. The Giant over here, he avenged his fallen comrade. He goes ahead and grabs that Lion Chariot. He ripped it in half, grabbed the lions, ate the lions, spit out their bones, and then he punted those 2 little Chariot crew guys, the little lion boys. Over here, it's going to be Skaven and High Elves turn 4. He doesn't do much moving. He does rearrange and reform to face the new threats that are coming, but basically a lot of people are in combat already. He gets 4 power dice on the magic phase, and I shut down his magic phase pretty well and easy. And then he goes ahead and shoots the Warp Lightning Cannon, and it misfires. On his misfire chart, it does a wild shot, and it shoots the first thing closest to him. With the arrow pointing directly at in between that Mangler and the Rattling Gun, and it blows up and it kills both the guys that are standing right there, which is pretty awesome. Over here, he flies the Phoenix over the Ragnarok. I believe it hits all 3 of those units combined. It does a wound onto the Rat Ogres. Why do I keep on saying Rat Ogres? Just the regular Ogres. I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm sorry. And I don't know why the pictures are coming up blurry again. I don't know what's going on with my camera. The Hell Pit Abomination goes ahead and kills off the Savage Orc. And then he goes ahead and kills off 1 more Ogre. And the Hell Pit actually did 3 more wounds onto the Tyrant, 2 onto the BSB, but the Tyrant went ahead and actually killed the Hell Pit Abomination, and he's dead, dead, dead with all the flaming attacks, no regen, no coming back to life, nothing. So we're going to go to Orcs and Goblins turn 4, and the Ragnarok Spider charges into the Storm Vermin over here. Gorbad charges into the rear of the Phoenix over here, and that Phoenix actually got 1 wound from getting shot at by goblins, which is funny. It went through the ward save. Over here, the Tyrant and the BSB charged into the Great Swords, which is kind of a bad move on my part. The Giant and the Bulls over here charged into the Slaves. And then we're going to go into, I believe there's no magic. Yeah, because I have no magic. And shooting's kind of tied down because everybody's in combat. We're going to go ahead and, oh, actually there's some shooting. We're going to have the Iron Blaster shoot at the Hell Pit, or, God, the Warp Lightning Cannon and blows up the Warp Lightning Cannon. That's awesome. Over here, the Doom Diver was aiming at somebody over here, and he just kind of flew off. Might have been shooting at like the floor by the Phoenix and missed anyways. The Lead Belchers, they're going to go ahead and shoot at the Rattling Gun, which I thought was dead already, but it was still alive, and it killed them. And then over here, he actually did a wound with the Phoenix to Gorbad. Gorbad failed to wound, but got a charge and a rear flank, and then Gorbad is his own BSB. So I won combat by 1, and the Phoenix is going to go ahead and flee, and he flies off the table. Over here, Queek comes out of the crowd, and he just kills off my Arachnarok Spider, and that kind of sucked. Over here, the Tyrant and the BSB, they got their impact hits, which killed off like 3 or 4 guys, and then they ended up killing off the Tyrant, but between the remaining attacks that the Tyrant did and everything that's going on, I think it was same time, because they lose their always strikes first because they have great swords, but they're both initiative 5, and the Tyrant killed off a bunch, he killed off a bunch, got some stomps off, they killed off the Tyrant, the BSB remains, and that whole unit of great swords is dead, and the BSB he overran. That's a pretty funny picture right there. Over here, the Slaves actually killed off one of the Ogres, but the Ogres and the Giant, they just started taking them out in like waves. Impact hits, thunder stomps, regular attacks, and then the Giant's special moves, they just took out that whole unit. The Ogres overran, the Giant overran, and that's going to be High Skaven turn 5 now. So again, he doesn't really charge anybody. He's actually in a very defensive stance. He starts moving his Spearman over here to get a hit impact from the Bulls. And then over here he gets 8 power dice, and he doesn't do anything else in his magic. I think he tries to do an ethereal thing on his own Storm Vermin. The Purple Sun's moving over here, and it moves right into my goblins that have been kind of moving up slowly, and it kills off 2 goblins. But yeah, that was about it. Basically, that was it for his turn. He really didn't have much else to do. Nobody's in combat. He has no shooting left. We're going to go to Ogres and Orcs turn 5. The Giant charges into the side flank of the Spearman. He fails the charge. The Ogres actually got the charge in. Gorbad comes back on the table, and he's staring at the side flank of the Queek Storm Vermin. And then the Purple Sun moves again, because I don't have a magic phase anymore, and he kills off 3 more guys. And then over here, the Ogres, they just start taking out these Spearmen. They're going to go ahead and take the impact hits, again, attacks and stomps. They get the Spearmen kill off 1 Ogre. The Ogres killed off probably like 15 guys or something like that, 10 or 15 guys. And they get an overrun, and they charge right into the side flank, or I'm sorry, the front of the Storm Vermin. And, at this point right now, he actually quit the game because they realized that they're just overpowered. Gorbad hasn't even got in. It's going to go turn 6. He's going to be in the combat right there by Orcs and Goblins turn 6. Gorbad charges in. The rest of the Ogres charge in, and they'll finish off the Storm Vermin. It was a really fun game. Like I said, it was an Easter game, so we just did it for fun. It was 3,000 points. I didn't say that in the beginning, but for 3,000 points, we did 1,500 each army, and it was a blast. My dad actually learned a lot. My nephew learned a lot, and we would do it again probably in the next holiday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. I have a couple more coming in. High Elves and Vampire counts. See you guys then. Take care. Peace.